Well, hello everyone. I'm back, the new proud American conservative, with part two of the personal war story. Back in ex-Yugoslavia, 1990-1991 is where I left off yesterday in my part one video, which I'm going to do a quick 1-minute review. I talked about the glass night, where certain people got together and they started breaking windows, all the small businesses, graffitis everywhere, you name it. Very similar, if not identical, to see what's going on today in America. So glass night was happening in 1990, soccer games, basketball games getting canceled, getting so much crime, not just your typical European soccer game where somebody gets in a fist fight, people get hurt badly, a couple of stabbings here or there, which was normal in a way out there. I know it sounds crazy, but that's just the way it is when it comes to soccer games. But these crimes were getting to the point that they just could not continue on anymore. It was so much hate that was pushed by mainstream media that if you're from a different town, you were just the enemy, even though you did. I never cared if this guy was, Croatian or Serbian or where they're from. I just always looked at it, and it's fun because I like to compete. I always competed in sports myself. So I found it repulsive what was going on. But obviously when you're a teenager, everything is kind of like, especially if you lived in Europe, everything was cool. The more problems, the more me and my friends enjoyed it. So this glass night and all these social unrests now led to mandatory curfews, okay? Which, again, I don't want to beat on a dead horse, is identical to what's happening right now in the United States. So curfews, not just because of COVID, we're talking because of social unrest. You have certain curfews in different cities in United States. So again, this is where it gets interesting now, because certain paramilitary groups started to be formed officially as the curfew started to happen. So you really didn't know anymore who was what, who was who, because everybody was just forming in their groups, coming out, pretending to be someone they're not, or they would be right in your face telling you, here's who I am, here's what you need to do. And if they had guns and you didn't, or if you were outnumbered, it was not pretty. But after a few months, these curfews, of course, we as teenagers, I'm going to repeat that part again, wanted to get creative, wanted to get stupid, so we would find ways to get out when we were not supposed to. It was mandatory to have school ID, no matter what age you were, with your picture on, to make sure you show it to authorities. So I was really worried about that, because I lived in the area where I was not supposed to live. Even though I was born there, my parents were born in this city, and their grandparents were born in this city. But you know what? My last name, they did not like it, so I was worried about, being outside, even though I did go. Because my friends knew about it, but we grew up together. They were all good. I was not worried about them. So we were outside, and here we go. A group of guys comes in with some weird uniforms. I'm trying to see if they have, a patch or something that says who they are. But they're in, their 30s. There is a lot more of them. We're just like 13-year-old kids outside being stupid. So they basically cornered us and said, ID's out. I said, I have no ID. The guy grabbed me, basically shook me down like a toy, and took my ID out. And immediately one of the guys said, oh, I know this last name, because these are small towns, by the way, small cities, small towns, everybody knows everybody. He says, oh, I know his dad. This guy's from blah, blah, blah. So, like I said, I was not supposed to live there. So one of the guys had a cast on. He comes over and just smacks me as hard as he can with the cast. I remember it like it was yesterday, because the whole cast on his forearm smashed when he hit me. So I jumped into the sea, Adriatic Sea right there, because we were right outside close to the water. We tried to go for a dip, because we had no water to give ourselves, a cute little bath like in America. You can still do that today, thank God. So yeah, we were out there close by, so I just jumped in. These guys were laughing, you know, they waited for me to get out. My buddies were just frozen, scared frozen, meaning they didn't know what to do, obviously. You can just imagine this scene playing out. So they, you know, take out their cigarettes, they start smoking. I can still taste that cigarette in my mouth today, even though it's been almost 30 years. I'll never forget that. I'm just waiting and sitting on these rocks, waiting for me to get out. So I was just swimming, waiting, and finally I got out. They did not want to jump in after me. It was just all a joke for them, right? So that's just one story. Again, it was us being, you know, stupid, getting out. But this is how what you see what's happening right now, like I said, in America. Paramilitary groups forming left and right. You don't even know anymore who to trust. Police, they're not sure what to do. Who to believe anymore, I don't know. It's why I always say, be your own security and also be your own bank, because we did go through hyperinflationary period that I talked about in my other videos from 92 to 94, which was really bad because now you're getting hungry, so the crime was rising. And this is, I believe, coming to America as well, hyperinflation, where whatever savings you have left, you can't buy anything with. You're basically broke and you're dependent on government. That's why I say hold gold and silver physical if you can, platinum, whatever. Some art if you have more money. Whatever you can grab on, whatever you can hold on to. Ammo, very important. Again, you don't have to listen to me. I'm telling you what I'm doing, and I'm telling you what I experienced. And you don't have to put two and two together here to see that my stories are identical to what is happening in the United States right now. So my phase one of total meltdown started, I guess you can call it, in 1990 or 1991. And right now, I believe in America, we are right at that stage right now. War ended where I lived in 96, so I'm going to make my videos based on those 6 years, including, of course, the hyperinflation that happened in between that from 92 to 94. So more stories are coming. Before I let you go, if anyone is interested in the stock market, I do a lot of stock picks. I will let you know more tomorrow around 1 o'clock Eastern when the market opens up. I have one large position in the stock called index FLNG. I bought it at 460. I sold at 510. That's what happened on Friday, I believe, right before the market closed. And then I went back in on the dip, but I wasn't able to fill my sell position again around 520, 515, I believe, because it never got there. So I got stuck with this position. And I was telling you guys on my previous video, this kind of stock, after I've done a lot of research on, if I get stuck with over the weekend, I think I'm okay with, because it looks like a solid stock, the balance sheet and everything else. And it's got a lot of upside, I believe. Again, this is just my opinion to it. So if I get stuck with it, it's okay. If it jumps up again, and if I see my account grows for a few $100s just in one day or a few $1,000s, I like to take profits out. It's very hard for me to say no when I see pretty quickly, and sometimes in 10 minutes I see, let's say, $150 I'm up for whatever stock I was invested in. 10 minutes, $150, yeah. I took out $150 and I looked the next day, it's up even more. I could have held it and could have had $250, but I did not complain. You see where my method is? Because I've seen a lot of them go down to almost nothing, and I already took my profits, and that made me feel pretty good. So I like to find the middle. I'm not trying to be a hero to pick the bottom or the top. I like to make money. So if you're interested in that, let me know. Share this video, like it if you do, of course. If you don't, put thumbs down. I'm a big boy, I can handle it. Talk to you guys later, and God bless you all.